All
Right.
right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Feck Off Friday. You guys, we are so excited to have Jeremy with us today. Um, we are going to be talking about the Operation 2.0 program. And man,
Hold
this
on.
is
I need to tell my dog to feck off real quick. Hold on.
okay. Go for it.
All right, she's good.
All right. Jim, I'm going to let you do some talking as I run backstage, and I will be back.
All right, Jamie. Hello. We're welcoming Jeremy Deadman. Welcome,
Hey
Jeremy.
Jim, how's it going, man?
Doing great, bud. Good seeing your face, man.
Good.
It's been a while. Been a couple
Yeah,
years.
yeah, likewise. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Man, we when was it that we met down there for lunch last?
I'm really trying to think about that because it's been a couple years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
probably it's probably at least been 2 years.
yeah, yep. And we've been doing a lot of stuff. I mean, since then, Jamie's been working full time with us, and
Yeah.
it's going fast. We're doing so many cool things. But yeah, tell us a little bit about what you got going on, man.
Man, I have transitioned out of the cannabis space and back into my natural habitat, which is construction and contracting. Um, kind of that, I was a little disappointed by the lack of contracts. I love contracts. I love paperwork. I'm kind of sick like that. But, whenever all of the expectations and obligations are written on paper, it just makes it so much easier to do business. It makes it so much easier for everyone to keep their feelings unhurt and to accomplish what needs to be accomplished without personalities getting involved. And that was really disappointing that there wasn't more of that in the industry here in Oklahoma.
Well,
I'm
let's
not
talk
gonna
about that. Let's
yeah,
rip
I,
on it a
I'm.
little bit, man.
I don't want to bash on the industry here because for one, it's low hanging fruit, and everybody kind of does that. But yeah, it was super hard to stay competitive whenever you are trying to do some good. Um, Hard to stay competitive when your most medicinal products aren't selling. What we were in a position where everything that I had started off in the cannabis industry uh, to do was just out of the picture. Um,
Yeah.
our tinctures weren't selling. Our medicinal line was not selling. The main thing that was selling was candy and sugar coated distillate, and that was keeping our lights on while we
Yeah.
tried to do some good in the world and
Hey, Jeremy,
uh,
let's back up a little bit. So I met you probably close to 3 years ago. Um,
yeah, yeah, I'd
yeah.
say that's right.
So I reached out to you, and I was familiar with the Operation Zero program that was going on up there, and I started my journey about 5 years ago. So a couple years after that, I realized that I can do some damage up in Oklahoma. So I reached out to the group, and I ended up getting a hold of Jamie, and Jamie introduced me to you. And you
Mhm.
started Operation Zero, man. So let's start there. Uh,
Yeah, so basically, it started on a whim. I was just laying in bed, and I was reading somebody's story where they had a family member that was struggling with cancer and how financially devastating that was. And I started looking into cost of cancer treatment and things like that because I've had some family that has dealt with cancer, and I've been close to people who have been lost from cancer. And man, it's almost
it's
like a terminal financial situation too, unless you're really, really uh,
it's like
well off.
generational bankruptcy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The treatment, the you're not able to work, you're sick, everything is just a drain on your finances. And it hit me that these people were left with the choice of, you know, leaving a little nest egg or continuing treatment and getting to spend another 6 months to a year with their family. Uh, and that's just such an awful choice.
That is,
And
I
it was
don't.
really, it was
Wow.
really heavy on my heart to do whatever I could to help. And
Well,
and
damn, man, that's
at that
heavy.
time, we were just starting to produce FICO, and just starting to see some results with some of our cancer patients that were coming to us for our medicine. And we just said, okay, well, we're going to set aside a portion of everything we make and we're going to give it out for free.
Wow.
And
Damn.
that snowballed. As soon as people found out about that, I had growers lining up to give me donations to go into this program. I had dispensaries reaching out, hey, we'd love to facilitate this for our patients. I had a transport company that was delivering it pro bono. I mean, there was really a whole
it's a whole community
drive.
coming together.
It was a whole
Yeah.
community just caught
Yeah.
on and was like, this is cool. And they just all jumped in and did whatever they could to keep moving it forward. And it
Did some
kind of got to
fundraisers.
did fundraisers, and there was
Wow.
fundraisers thrown, there was money donated, there was a lot of people donated time. Jamie donated so much of her time, and it kind of grew into something bigger than what I had anticipated.
So the demand was big, like you're saying.
The demand, we can never meet the demand. It's
The demand
so high.
got big, but you also had me involved at that point. And Jim, you know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you throw an idea, I'm gonna put it into action.
Yeah, I say we can never meet the demand, and Jamie's like, all right, you want to bet?
Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, exactly.
Meet
her
Jim.
enthusiasm and determination to keep this thing going has been the backbone of the program. Jamie, I can't thank you enough for naming your continued operations in honor of what we started together. And that just means the world to me. And Jim, for your involvement too, man.
It's a big thing, Jeremy. It's a huge thing you started, man. Honestly, it's a huge. Obviously, you have a huge heart, and you give back, and it's really cool that you brought the community together, because everybody, when we bash on the Oklahoma cannabis, we're not really bashing on the people involved in it, because they're the ones that got bashed on. We're bashing on the
everybody had the same struggles. We were, our costs were up here and the market was diving, and our revenues were down here, and then our costs were up here and our revenues were down here, and it just kept stair stepping down. And I saw it all around. Everybody was doing the same thing. They were selling for less than it cost them to make, and then buying for less than what they sold for. And it was cycle after cycle of businesses going out.
Yeah, that's not a business model.
It's not a good business model. And I know that people who were well positioned to begin with and came out and were vertically integrated, they fought, a lot of them fought and still held on. And a lot of companies that, kind of were fortune tellers and saw where the industry was going to go were financially prepared for that. We just weren't. And it was one of the hardest decisions that I ever had to make, but it wasn't, because I didn't really get a choice in the matter. We were going to go out of business. So we just decided to shut down. And that was about the time that you and I were talking, and Jamie and you were getting involved and getting this thing to grow beyond what Paragon Extracts could facilitate. And so it was just serendipitous. The whole timing of it was perfect.
Yeah. And when you look back at it, go ahead, Jamie.
I so badly am like on the edge of my seat to tell you some expansion states.
Oh yeah.
So
can we get into that yet?
Yeah, we are branching into Ohio and Colorado and possibly Florida with this program.
Nice. Well, let me go down to Florida. I'll run things down there.
I was like so excited to tell you.
So
that is amazing news.
We have our number one patient, who is our main technology guy. He literally got on the program about 2 years ago, and he had B-cell lymphoma, and I got him onto FECO that same day. He was my neighbor down in Austin. His name is Dave. He wrote a story. He journaled his whole story from start to finish. with including FECO and talking to Mayo Clinic about it, and they approving it, and they're loving what we do now. And so much. You started a lot of cool shit, man. Honestly, and you know, it's a neat. It's a legacy thing for you now, man. And honestly, for us
That's amazing. Well, man, I may have given the initial push, but I honestly, all I did was just facilitate things to begin with, and then they got taken out of my hands before it ever even came to maturity. But I do appreciate you saying that. It means a lot to me just to still be part of this conversation and be invited on to talk about this.
Right on.
Because the only heartbreak I had.
Let me take a quick break real quick here. It's 12:19 here in Dallas. In Brazil, it's 4:19. So in 1 minute, we're gonna take a new dab break here on Feck Off Friday. And it's going to be a couple-minute dab break. Everybody do what they got to, smoke them if you got them. And then we'll be right back on. But my dabber is warmed up. It's now time for it. It's 4:20 in Brazil. Jeremy, I'll be back in like 1 minute, buddy. So
go do it, man.
I don't have anything with me, so I'm
Jamie,
gonna stay on.
Oh my God.
I didn't have time to run and go grab a tool.
That's true. I just kind of thought of this as I was doing a dab before, and I thought, you know what? We need to break it up a little bit. So I'm actually doing a dab audio live. So I hope I don't gag real bad.
Real quick, our viewers are growing pretty quickly. Just for everybody in the audience who regularly watches us, I'm the only one who gets to see the comments. Everybody else is on a Zoom screen. So we've got a whole lot of highs to Jeremy. Jeremy, wave at everybody. Everybody in
hey,
the
everybody
misses you.
Oh man, I miss the people.
Yes. Yep.
You are a people person.
People on here. It's been a fun. It's being able to continue this was amazing.
Yeah, it's been good.
Which
Jeremy.
I think is what you were getting ready to start with, is what the heartbreak was.
Oh, yeah, the only heartbreak that I even had getting out of the industry. Of course, I love the science. I'm a nerd at heart. I've always loved the chemistry of being in a processing lab. But the only heartbreak I had was that I didn't think that this was going to be able to keep going. And to see syringes still going out, it was amazing. To see information going out and people getting help and people journaling and progress being made on documenting some of the relief that people are getting. It's done me a lot of good with coming to terms with the fact that this is no longer a space that I'm going to be able to be involved in.
Right on, man. So we have stepped it up a notch. We brought a group of people on that are educated. I mean, like highly educated, and you definitely need to be involved in one of the meetings that we do every Wednesday. It's called Whole Health Oncology. It's going to be launched in April, but it's all about prevention, patient autonomy, and quality of life. I mean, that's literally our three mottos. So
nice.
We got a research team that's been working with MIT
for the last 20 years. Yeah, they're amazing. They're detailed and focused, and they do meta-analysis. And we've got the largest database of meta-analysis analyzed data in the world. So that's
what it's going to take to move this into just out of a fringe science into a real medical industry. That's what it's going to take, is data.
Yep, we agree. I agree, and we agree. We are all about it, and we're doing it in a orchestrated way that will disrupt. So it's all coming at once. I mean, we're really slowly, but creating the data necessary with the swords and shields necessary to do this, knowing that there's going to be a people that don't agree with what we do, and we're getting some of that, but those are medical people, man. They probably got
he says slowly. Jim, we're not doing nothing slow.
Well, yeah.
This takes longer than you think.
No, it's a process. Honestly, we do have a big team of people now that I never thought would come together. And people come in as we have an I team in India building the platform for us,
Wow.
collecting more stories. We're going to have the largest database of patient reported outcomes. The data points are all being standardized, and we're everything's being coordinated and tagged properly. And like you said, the data is king, and for us to be able to move the needle to the next level, which is federal legal legality,
Yeah.
which is gotta come sooner or later. It's going to take this, and hopefully we can be a big factor in that. And in the meantime, we're going to save a lot of people that have cancer. We're going to make their lives a lot better. And like I said, a lot of it started with Operation Zero in Oklahoma. So it's a fun
Now
thing
that
fun thing to talk about.
now your program that you started has developed into you know, a more organized reservation system, surveys. The surveys anonymously feed the whole health oncology and go to help future cancer patients with mixed combined with research, and we're able to do like massive big projects with massive data sets. And this all started from Paragon extracts.
Yeah,
Well,
Like
that's
pretty cool.
the
amazing.
idea
I love.
here bloomed into this, into that.
Yeah,
Yep.
honestly, it's its own organism. I really, this was not the master plan. I would be lying if I said that I saw it becoming anything other than just a way to uh, give back. But man, it's just been mind blowing what you guys have been able to accomplish with this. And I'm not just trying to toot your horns there. It's just I really had no idea that it was ever going to become something like this. And partnering with Jim uh, and working with you and the amount of work that you put into organizing this is going to bring the science of cannabis medicine into maturity
Yeah,
in
that's a good point.
the medical community.
That's a great
That's
way to
what
look
they
at it.
need.
That is our
They,
That's
goal.
they they don't speak the language of rhetoric. They speak the language of numbers. They speak
science,
data.
science,
Yeah,
baby. So we're
yeah.
working with dogs too, which is really a freaking one of my favorite things to do. And I know Jamie and all our whole group loves it too. And dogs, their metabolism moves faster. Who doesn't love dogs? I mean, dogs are so freaking loyal. I mean, look at my dog right now. I want to be that. Oh, wait,
He,
shut
look,
up.
he looks like he's had a
Oh
couple
yeah,
grams of FICO.
she's had some in her life, man, for sure. Yeah, definitely. She's a sweetheart, and we have a big walk in the morning, and she does FICO, man. She is not afraid
Oh,
of it,
that's
and
good.
it's not going to kill your dog. By the way, a lot of people and almost all the vets can't even talk about it legally, which is so strange. We've got a big vet program going that we're sending out buttons to veterinarians around legal states, mostly Colorado and California, focusing on it says, ask me about CBD, because if you ask them, then they can openly talk to you about it. That's literally where the world is right now. Feck off. That's how
Wow.
feck off it is, man. I mean, we need to talk about
Uh,
some feck off stuff.
is there a different profile that you look for with to use for animals? Different cannabinoid profile? Do
It's
you
not really, it's just more diluted. It's all
just more
dosage.
diluted?
Yep.
You
You
start them
dilute
off
it.
on a CBD regimen first, though,
Yeah.
Yep.
to get them
Yep.
adjusted.
Yeah,
Yep.
with a little bit of THC, it's got the 0.3 THC in it, and it gets them kind of thinking about it. And then, honestly, it does stone them out a little bit. You got to be careful with it, but it's not like they're gonna freaking die. They're not gonna die, and
Well,
it's what, yeah. So they just get high and then they lay down like my dog does. It's
yep.
not a terrible. That's the worst case scenario. I mean,
Yeah.
so
That's what I'm. There's been a couple of times that I've taken it that I thought I was gonna die, but nothing
it's a
bad
real
ever happened.
it's a real thing. Yeah, people don't take it serious, and if you just do too much, it's a common thing with cannabis is if you do some and then you forget you did it, and then you do some more, then you're in
Yeah.
but between that and acid, you don't want to do that too much.
That was such a huge problem whenever the industry first opened up in Oklahoma, because everybody was trying to make waves by releasing 1,000 milligram chocolate bars and just
Yeah,
crazy dosages. And you had all of these people who were like, well, now that it's legal, I'll try it out. And they go in and ask the bud tender, they're like, what's right for me? And the bud tender's like, hey, you got to try this 1,000 milligram chocolate bar
Badass.
or gummy. This thing is badass. And then they eat that, and it's the worst experience they've ever had. And it's like, you
Yeah.
didn't get a fair shot at understanding how beneficial cannabis can be for you in the
Yeah.
right dosage and in the right profile. That
You
was
lose 'em.
always, yeah, that was always tragic to me whenever they just lost interest because they had, just
They-
some kid point them toward the strongest thing they could get their hands on, and
They didn't
it
have
didn't.
they didn't have a playbook.
Right, they didn't
Yeah.
have a playbook. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
So yeah, and we've changed our name to Cancer Playbook. We had it at
Yeah.
it was FECO, now it's FECO. We've been going with FECO because it's easier to say feck off. So
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, and it makes sense when you think about the abbreviation of full extract. It's not full extract.
exactly, yeah, exactly. And there's John Marsh with the Cannabis Oil Success Stories, which is a huge reason that this whole thing got started. He's a FECO guy because he said it's not Geeko, it's Gecko, FECO.
Yeah, FECO. No, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. I'm going to start saying it like that if I can remember to.
Oh yeah, well it took us a while, right, Jamie? We all we all kind of had to do it together, and it was funny how all of us couldn't do it together. One of us would
Right.
always be FECO in it,
Every once in a while, you still hear one of us like correct somebody, but
Yeah.
it was really hard for me to make the change. Well, first he had to break me from saying RSO.
Oh
So
God.
Oh yeah. I remember having that conversation with you a couple of times, Jamie.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That was a hard one there.
Jeremy tried first and he couldn't get me to do it. Then Jim came in and was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do.
You gotta be FECO mama. If you're gonna be something, mama.
Yeah.
Oh,
No shade
it's-
to Rick Simpson. I mean,
no, man.
dude busted open a whole new product for our
He-
understanding, but
He really did. He opened up a lot of people's eyes, and that's my whole. He was my inspiration too.
yeah,
Um,
dude, he was groundbreaking. But it's gone beyond that now, and
Yeah, and it was before that, but he just brought it out. He was like
Yeah.
the rock star that said, "Look at this,"
That's
and nobody
right.
else said it. And he
Yeah.
was,
that's right.
because a lot of things would be silent if like one person didn't step up, and Rick was that guy. We give him credit.
Yeah.
A lot of people would dish on Rick because he used a bad extraction.
Naphtha.
Yeah, naphtha, but he was using it for skin cancer. It doesn't, I would put
Yeah.
naphtha on my skin because I do. When you wipe off
Yeah,
paint,
sure.
right? You put naphtha on it. And
Right.
it's actually in the polish that we make. There's a little bit of naphtha. It's not the worst stuff in the world. But now if I was ingesting it in my body, might think twice about it. And I do get it, but you can't rip on a guy that did what he did. I mean, that's what's wrong with the world
Yeah.
right now. So all you people that rip on people, feck off. Period.
Yeah, back
I mean,
off.
come together,
Absolutely.
man. Right now with this
Yes.
political stuff happening, let's all, cannabis is a glue. I'm noticing
Yep.
that,
It should be, and it always was my entire life. As soon as I met somebody else who was pro cannabis, it was like we clicked. We had things to talk about. We were
Yep.
like-minded. We had similar interests and hobbies, and it was just, we were like, okay, we know that we're compatible.
In most cases, you can
friendship.
smoke one.
Yeah. In most cases, you can smoke one, and it's just instant friendship. And then it's almost gotten perverted to the point where that's not the case anymore. It's like, well, I'm
I
not
agree.
I'm not going to
COVID
go
fucked-
into I'm not
COVID
going to
fucked
go
it
into
up.
the nasty side of the industry, but it was almost, it got so competitive, and everybody was just trying to
That's-
survive.
Share a little bit of it though. That's fair. The competitive is very
Yeah.
fair worded,
Yeah.
And they were just trying
and
to
it's not-
survive.
It's not anybody's fault. The market just tanked, and everybody
did.
was just trying to support themselves and their employees, and trying to keep the lights on, and trying to do the best they could for the patients. But it became a place where anybody else doing what you were doing was your enemy. And it
Yeah.
was like that
That's
just
wrong.
seems so
It was-
that just
It was
seems so
rough.
wrong to me.
It should be 100% opposite of that, right? I mean,
Right.
Not
Yeah, there's
80%.
Yeah. There should
And
be enough
there's
room for all of us.
there should be, and that's back when, I've got a bunch of friends in the industry, and that's back when weed was 3,000 a pound. Now it's
Yeah.
600.
Right.
Do the math, and plus you can't go interstate. You can't take it to an area where they can't get it. You can't do that, legally.
When I first started distilling oils, I sold my first kilogram of distillate for $12,000. When I got out of the industry, I sold my last one for 1,200.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That speaks volumes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That really does. Wow. Damn.
So
Holy shit.
that is the craziest nosedive I've
My
ever
God.
witnessed in any
That's
market.
That's a 90% drop, or even more than that, probably. I don't know. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I just want to.
You're just trying to help people.
I want to add something positive here, real quick. On these patients that we're helping, and they report to us every week, right? So this is over a couple week span. The first one in here says my cancer antigen came down from 128 to 66.
Hell yeah.
A couple weeks later, it went down to 39.
Hell yeah.
A couple weeks later, it was in normal range, and a couple weeks later, the PET scan shows most tumors are gone.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Watching this, like they're reporting every week, so we're watching how quickly this happens. Like,
yeah, and it's a combination.
This is what we were missing.
This
is what this industry needs.
God dang it. And we are, and that's why we're expanding, because this data from our MIT researchers, they're telling us this data we're doing in Oklahoma is more valuable than what they're doing, because it's real time, actual, working with data, owning the data. That's all we're doing. We own the data.
Because they probably couldn't get approval for human trials and human studies, huh?
Exactly. No.
Yeah.
Hell no. No, they wouldn't even talk to them about it. No, if it's not FDA approved, there's no way in hell. Yeah, and a lot of people have done this, Jeremy. There's some people, and not that they've done exactly what we're doing. They've done a lot of research, a lot of studies, a lot of in the lab, trying to understand what the hell's going on with this stuff, because it's magic, it really is. And it makes you feel good when you smoke it too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with enjoying your medicine.
Yeah, it's medicine if it makes you feel better. That's what Jack always tells me, and Jack's my mentor, and he's got to be right. Jack's more right than Facebook. So but we've got the people now where they're understanding why they're sharing their story. There's a value to it, and it's not money. That's the key to it. And so if anybody on here knows somebody with, or had cancer, even if they didn't make it, that there's a story there. We don't need the full name. It can be anonymous, but we need to know what happened, what went wrong, what did they do, and if they did something wrong, we can help other people in the future. That's how our data works. It's like it's a crowdsourcing, pay it forward, but we're not buying somebody.
What went right?
Yeah.
Here's another one that said, I had tumor reduction, and my tumor marker is down from 8,100 to 3,989.
See, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I could listen to those all day long.
I could too. I could too.
This is what I play in.
Yeah.
Just listening to them all.
And we're starting to dial it in on, between the pharmaceuticals, lack of pharmaceuticals, how valuable it is. And then the psychedelics, how much they really help people that are going through cancer, because it's a mental thing too. There's more to it than the physical side of it.
Absolutely. And there's nothing more beneficial to end of life treatment, I think, than psychedelic therapy. I mean, you really kind of, it can prepare you. Yeah.
I've got a quick story. A friend of mine, probably one of my best friends, mom was actually, their parents were married for over 50 years. They've been over 60 years. Good friends. He was from the Marines. He was a general. He died. And then all of a sudden she got, of course, you know how that works. She started getting really sick too, and missing him for sure. But she went into a coma, and nobody could talk to her, and she was going to die within a couple of days. It was obvious. So I brought some psilocybin over, and they put it in a little syringe and put it in her mouth. And and I had to go. I had to go to my mother-in-law's or my mom's or something. And I get over there and I get a call from them. They said, Jim, she just woke up and she's talking to us. I was like, son of a bitch, really, really. And she said,
Yeah.
and then 45 minutes later, she just slowly just passed away. And I was like,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
freaking beautiful story, man. Holy shit, right?
Yeah. That's
Morphine
amazing.
doesn't allow you to do that.
Man, yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's a whole other frontier right there. The psilocybin. I mean, I'm excited to see what comes of that. I hope it doesn't get bastardized to the extent that the cannabis industry has, where it's become so commercial. Honestly, I hope it remains a spiritual endeavor and doesn't ever become a business. I do want it to be decriminalized nationally. I do want there to be more research, but man, I dread the day that it becomes an industry.
I do too. You know they're going to screw it up. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
You know, anything that good. Now the word's getting out. You know, the
Yeah.
culture of cannabis is why I loved it, man. Forever, it was like the outlaws, and I loved hanging out with outlaws.
Right.
You know, you can go pick up a pound of weed and drive down the road and breaking the law. You know, and showing up and hooking up your buddies. Shit,
Yep.
man, that was awesome, man. I was good at it. I always, my biggest fear was that what I bought wasn't the best. That was my only biggest fear, because I always wanted the best, and which allowed me to always have the best, you know. And really, it was a beautiful thing, man. Outlawing it all the way through, all my starting my business, selling it to customers. They'd get a full detail and an ounce of killer Colombian bud, man. You know, back in early
That's
1980s.
awesome.
Yeah. But that's how reality is. I mean, like you said, keeping the lights on, man. That's not easy. You know, I was trying to keep the lights on too, and we were trying to clean cars, and you know, and I was back in the 80s. We were doing a lot of other stupid shit too, man. There was a lot of cocaine around, to be honest, man. Yeah. So yeah, we had to be careful. But yeah. So Operation 2.0 is growing, man. We're excited. Look at the data we're getting, Jeremy. Think about it. That's you started that shit. So thank you. Serious.
No, thank you. Seriously, thank you. Man, just to be mentioned in this conversation is an honor for me. And I've never really been a guy that sought personal gratification like that. But to know that people are still being helped is amazing.
Yeah. And we're just getting started, really are. And we'd want you more involved in what we're doing too, buddy. There's room for your mind. You're a chemist mind. You love what we're doing. You know, our number one thing is working with a guy in Oklahoma City. A good friend of mine, Chip, he was on a couple weeks ago. He just opened up an extraction lab. A legitimate.
Oh, Chip's extracting now?
Yeah, Chip Baker.
Chip Baker.
Chip Baker.
Oh
yeah. Chip Baker's a real thing. He's not the other Chip. But this guy is legit. He's an OG from Humboldt.
Oh, really?
And had an exit with a big dirt company, and Chip's a badass. One of my best friends.
Nice.
This extraction lab is unfreaking believable, man. It's full blown, explosion proof. You got a full blown, like everything you need to do exactly, make shatter, bladder, spatter, everything, the diamonds, FECO. And so we're going to do
man, you need to come up north, and we need to sit around a table together.
We do. We need to go over there and talk about, what we need to talk about. And I'm open for anybody to help jump in on this. But Chip, I hope you're listening, is what do we test? How do we test? And what's the most important thing we need to test first? We want to find what's the best way to make the best medicine, get the most cannabinoids, most terpenes. Terpenes, his wife's a terpene genius. She's literally got a degree in Chinese medicine. So it's all coming together.
That's awesome.
Jeremy, do you still have any of your old test results?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I keep all my paperwork. I'll probably keep every scrap of paperwork from that business for another 5 years or so. I'm just always super paranoid about needing to go back through records, whether it's for tax reasons or legal reasons or whatever, so I just keep everything.
If at some point you find time to send me copies of those, I would greatly appreciate that. At
I
least for
know
the
exactly
FECO.
where they're at.
We have a FECO standards that we put in, and I know that your product has helped a lot of patients. So if we could use that as, a standard
Mhm.
when looking at other products, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I can definitely cherry pick some of our better batches, and even contrast them with some of our worst batches and give
Yeah,
them to you like that, so that you can kind of
yeah.
look
We'll
at the
take them all.
profiles. And yeah,
Because
Awesome.
sometimes the
Yeah.
worst batches might have a better profile and maybe not as much THC. Depends on what you're looking
yeah,
for, right? Because
yeah. It's all about what you're looking for,
yeah,
and that was it was always tough to get people to look beyond THC. That's the only thing that goes on the front label, you know.
yeah, big,
Yeah.
big and bold,
Yeah.
man.
Well, and we also had products donated from all over the place. Like we kind of did some of those. We knew it was coming in, but we didn't like know everything that the growers were doing. Like
like a
we
little
had a lot of
smorgasbord.
donations. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't pick and choose what donations we got. We worked with what we had, and sometimes we had really amazing batches, and we didn't ever have any bad ones. Actually, we had two. We had two that we had to throw out, or not throw out, but dispose.
Remediate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No,
In,
we
in
we did.
case, in case Oklahoma, what's it called? Track. Is it in case they're on the podcast?
Yeah,
What's the
right.
track and
No,
trace?
yeah, we definitely disposed of those correctly. Um, nobody smoked or
Nobody got hurt.
ingested any of
Nobody
that.
got
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
No animals got
Yeah.
hurt. That's it. Yeah, so the animal deal is really cool too, man. It's called Cancer Playbook for Dogs. It's not a real hard thing to remember. If anybody
Yeah.
does have a dog that is dealing with, really any disease, the thing about that we're finding out is that our program is good for general health.
Mhm.
You don't have to have cancer. Just that's what anybody that says, "Oh gosh, I'm waiting on my diagnosis." Well, jump on this program, and it's a feel good program. It's a proactive approach to whole health.
We're
Yeah.
currently
Yeah. I mean,
we're currently programming an AI to give responses to symptoms. So if like if your stomach is upset, how to use cannabis for that, and it's from the research team. Like it's really cool. So like anybody who has any kind of symptom, there's like 60 that we like did a deep dive research in that will have responses from patient reported outcomes and data, not from
that is
telling
awesome.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
That
pretty
is
cool.
awesome.
it's pretty detailed. Plus, it's like really it's like personalized, and it's working. One of the things we're realizing is that we could reach more people. For one thing, it's changing it to Cancer Playbook. Cancer Playbook is much easier to digest. You don't have to explain what FECO is. And then the other thing is that we're making it to where people can really utilize the services all around the world. And you don't have to have FECO. FECO is not the only intervention that we use. Diet and exercise and all these other things, and really also for symptoms of what this cannabis or what this chemo does to you, this nausea. That's what Eric did. He was able to use. He wasn't using FECO back then. He was using this just like a tincture that they were making locally.
Yeah.
Had cannabis in it, and it was just a clean. Really, and if anybody's sick on here and they're looking for something, when you go to the dispensary, you need to find something without sugar in it. You mentioned that earlier. That's what they sell. They say freaking gummy bears wrapped in sugar.
Especially with cancer. I mean, sugar is like gasoline on a fire.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do when you get a cancer diagnosis is go out and get a bag of gummies.
Celebrate
unless
with a
they're
bag of
sugar
gummies.
free. Yeah.
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 They're not that good sugar free.
Well, we're in the or I say you guys are in the holistic medicine space. And so we always have to keep in mind the total picture of your health. And not only does sugar feed cancer, being
It's bad for you.
unfit. Yeah. Yeah. Being unfit and high glucose levels, there's all kinds of problems that can spiral from that.
We're doing a cool program in March, and it's going to be basically cut out added sugar. And we're
Yeah.
going to promote to people how to do it. It's not easy. There's ways to do it. And there's things you can eat fruits and vegetables, but you don't want to eat too many of them. But, the fiber and all that kind of makes it all the difference in the world. And even pure cane sugar is better than processed sugar.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
absolutely. And then you want to go a step beyond that. You talk about, fruit sucrose, naturally occurring sugars in fruits and things like that.
Some
Those are even
vegetables,
better
yeah.
than cane sugar.
Those are
I mean,
fantastic. Those are the
glucose
best.
has
Those are
its place in our diet, but not processed sugars.
No, zero. And if you read a label, don't buy it because there's going to be added sugars. I mean, to everything that has where it says added sugars, if it shows 0, you better read it again because it might be
Right.
10 or 20 or 30, because a can of a soda, list a can of not even Mountain Dew, something Pepsi, right? Has 30 freaking grams of sugar in them, and it's not the good sugar.
If you're watching this at home, weigh out 30 grams of sugar on a kitchen scale. Just don't let the feds see you doing it because they're going to get the wrong idea. But weigh out 30 grams of sugar on a kitchen scale and look at how much sugar that is. It's astounding how much volume of sugar is in a single can of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Even though it tastes good, there's a reason it tastes good.
Right.
Don't get used to it. It's a bad thing to be on a habit of eating or drinking. It really is. And plus what it does is it makes you thirsty. So you really want to drink another one.
Yeah.
You walk into a store, it should be illegal to walk into a freaking gas station. Like when you're driving down the road and you're hungry and hangry and you got to go to the bathroom and you walk through there and you got to walk through all these chips and freaking candy bars and sodas and just to go to the freaking bathroom. There's a chance you're going to grab something on the way out, right? Holy shit.
I do really well at avoiding candy bars and sodas and stuff unless I get really hungry and then I'm walking through that aisle and I'm like, oh, it gets super hard to maintain
what's it gonna
discipline.
Be? Kit Kats and Snickers.
My kid signed up for POM this year, and I'm like, at practices and games and got an insanely busy schedule. And I've noticed that I am quicker to grab than what I was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot easier.
Well, we all got to get on that no sugar deal. Then we're, one of the things my mentor, Jack, always tells me is hemp hearts. So I bought what is that, Lisa? Like a whole pound of hemp hearts? Like maybe 5 pounds. It's 5 pounds, 5-pound bag of hemp hearts. Buy them. If you're going to be in this March challenge, and it's going to be through Whole Health Oncology. Like I said, our Whole Health Oncology Institute, it's all about helping people be healthy. Because then it fights cancer. Then your cancer is there, but it's not active. Everybody has cancer in the body. We all have a variety of it, and it's all either capsulated or not. And if it's not, then it's wild, and you need to do something about it. And you can. That's the thing about it. So yeah, what's the next steps for you, man? We would love to have you involved in doing what we're doing.
Man, I have just been, whenever I went into the construction space, I just had to put my head down and kind of focus on that full time. I'm getting to a point now where, I would love to get involved when I can. I don't want to overcommit and underdeliver, but I would love to be involved in some of these conversations. I would definitely love to sit down with your team and learn more about what you guys are doing and lend any kind of, I don't know if I even have anything to offer. You guys are so well-oiled now.
No,
but
we need everybody. We need everybody.
I think you do.
Any way I can help, I would be absolutely happy to.
That'd be awesome. We look forward to that. Yeah, and we got always looking for more people to help us educate people on what we're doing, and it's a big thing. Plus, we're working with corporate whole health, trying to work with basically like companies that are self-insured and uninsured and underinsured. That, like you said, people get sick, and then it's like even if they do have insurance covers X amount of it, but if the bill's $1 million and your deductible is 80/20, you still owe a big chunk.
Right.
And,
we got to introduce them to Marzoff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And our goal is to try to offer different options based off of the from this data that we receive. You know, the data does prove certain things, and it definitely helps with treatment for sure. No matter what you're doing, using full extract cannabis oil and diet change and all that definitely helps. I mean, it's like the opposite of eating sugar and like what they do in the hospital. This is a feck off moment. You're in the hospital. Two of the worst things you can eat are things with methionine, which is chicken and fish. So at dinner time, they give you two options: chicken or salmon. You know what I mean? That's what they feed you in the hospital.
Mhm.
And then at dinner, at the dessert, they give you a piece of freaking cake or pie. Literally. That's your dessert. And you're getting chemo at the same time. So chemo's coming in over here and you're eating a freaking piece of pie. It's just ludicrous. You know?
Yeah.
It's like job security. It's like almost like stupidity.
That's sad. That's sad, but it's very true. I mean, you can't heal healthy people.
You really can't, man. No, you
Back
can't. No, you
off.
Back off, man. Back off.
Back off.
Friday. Yeah.
And yeah, the medical
Serious.
industry has a long way to go, but I really hope to get enough data and enough information into the public light that the medical industry can start looking at holistic health.
Right on, right on. That's where exactly what we're doing, man. So that's where you can get involved, and from the whole health side, it's like up here, looking down, and like groups like Operation 2.0 are feeding us data from underneath, which has always been there. It just hasn't been organized, and like I said, I couldn't do it without our team of people. We have probably 10 people that are doing this right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
That are full blown beacon.
That whole health oncology team is like nothing I've seen before. Like I work
really
with the
is.
team up here, and our team, the Operation 2.0 feeds it from down here. So I get to watch it all the way through on how these smaller companies can help feed the data and how that data is used and how playbooks are able to be kicked out of it and how we're able to give symptom relief and all this other stuff from
Data.
start to finish. It's insane watching it. It's fun.
Well, thank you guys for having me. When's your next event? Do you have any events coming up on the calendar that we need to be aware of?
Right
now we're just doing the
yeah.
Feck Off Friday podcast. We do have Whole Health Oncology has an event coming up.
A big launch coming up. Yep. We're doing a disc golf tournament down in Terrell. If you feel like jumping on I know you're not afraid of coming down to Dallas. March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's a big party. It's a camp out and bring your camper.
That'd be awesome.
It's going to be a big Eric Scorpion. Check out these hats that we got made. Check out this logo, man.
Oh, that is sick.
Jim's watching a disc golf course and a tournament.
Jamie, would you send me some information on that?
I will.
It'll be fun, man.
Wow.
It'll be a lot of fun. So
that's cool. I'm going to do what I can to get down there for it.
Right on, Jeremy. Well, hey, good catching up, buddy. Well, let's don't be strangers, and thank you for joining us today on Feck Off Friday. And
for sure, thank you, Jim.
The first dab break ever on Feck Off Friday.
I'll be prepared for it next week.
From now on.
Oh yeah, it is for sure, man. Right on.
It's nice seeing you again, Jeremy. Yeah, it's always good sitting down with you.
Yeah. I'll see y'all later.
Talk soon, Jeremy. Have a great day.
Bye, guys. Thanks everybody who's watching. Thank you, guys. We will catch you guys next week.
Feck Off.
Feck Off.